Okay, we're recording. All right.
All right.
Hey, Nikiski. So good to connect with you all. I wanted to reach out to Miss Brittni Wisner. She is the UAS recruiter, and she has some amazing information to share with you today. She's going to cover what to do if you're still interested in applying to UAS, but also what are some of the next steps you should be taking for UAS or really, to any college or university in general. So Brittni, thank you for being here today. I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, thanks. Hi, Nikiski. Hope you're all doing well and doing all your homework and getting ready for the school year to end in a very strange way. Here to talk about some specific UAS things, but also just good things to look for and be keeping at the forefront of your brain right now, no matter where you're going to college, where you think you're trying to go to college. So yeah, we'll get right into it. Some specific things about UAS right now is that our application fee is waived. So if you normally would go on the UAS website and try to apply for admission, it would cost some money. It would cost about $50 to apply to a bachelor's program, but we're waiving that right now. You can use the fee waiver code, all caps, support 2020, and get that fee waived and save your $50 for something else like ramen or gas money this summer or something, whatever else you want to spend your money on besides an admissions fee. And that is actually loaded onto the page itself, the application page. So if you don't remember this and you can't find, or you, lose this somehow, if you go to apply for admission, it's right there. So key point, admissions fees are being waived right now. It's great. We also are waiving the ACT and SAT score requirement. So if you were someone that was going to take the ACT or SAT in May, or you weren't really planning on taking it anyways, that's been waived. So don't worry about the ACT or SAT if you are thinking about applying to UAS for fall 2020 or summer 2020. And likewise, if you're looking at another school and you're wondering like, oh my gosh, how am I going to take the ACT now and send my scores to Hawaii or Montana? Check with their admissions office. They may be doing something similar.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Brittni. Do you mind showing us on UAS's page what that admissions page looks like and who they could reach out to if they had any questions about the application process?
Yeah, let me do that real quick. I'll just share my screen. Oh, it says the host disabled participant screen sharing.
Hold on, let me fix that. Okay, try again.
Okay. Excellent. Let's go up here. All right, so this is our homepage. If you were to type in uas.alaska.edu, here we are. And all you're going to do is scroll down and click apply for admission. So like I said, the fee waiver code is already on there. It's right there on the last page of the application, so just go for it. If you're actually just still collecting information, you can click this button over here. You'll fill in what you're interested in, and we can mail you information or email you information. So that's another option. But yeah, this is our webpage to find.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who would they contact for more information about the application process if they were curious or had questions?
Yeah, that would be me. I actually am the admissions counselor for the Kenai Peninsula, so that's me. But if you were just looking and you can't find where I am, I actually don't know if I can find where I am on our website, but just this overview of admissions page will get you connected to all the right people, admissions office, contact the admissions office.
Oh, perfect.
So all kinds of helpful things here, but we'll leave my contact information in the video. So yeah, you guys can just contact me, but this is our main admissions page.
That's awesome. So I know like KPC requires things called the ALEX test and the AccuPlacer. Does UAS require those things as well?
Yeah, so the next kind of big part of the admissions process that people are working on right now, besides admissions, so turning in whatever's left on your checklist, so people are meeting with advisors. And if you meet with an advisor, they're going to tell you something about like these placement tests, because everyone has to take, your first math class, your first English class, a social science, all those classes. So to figure out where you should start, so should you start in pre-calc or should you start in college algebra, or should you start in English 111 or should you start in English 211? To figure out where you're going to start, you're going to take a placement test, and it's not like a super scary thing. They're just trying to figure out where you are. So our math placement test is online. That's the ALEX test that you mentioned. It's online. It's always free. It's always been great. So it's even better now that we can't have tests in person. So that's online. And then our English placement test at UAS, we're actually doing a self-proctored test. So it's like a self-examination where myself or your academic advisor will walk you through this test material, and from there figure out which English class you should be in. The thing about placement tests, like the math one, it is online. So if you wanted to, you probably could try to get all the right answers and find all the right question, all the right things. But the thing is, you actually just want it to reflect where you really are. So if you're like answering these crazy questions and knocking it out of the park, but you can't do it without a computer or whatever resource you're using, you're going to get placed in a really hard math class. So just take it as you are. Same with the English one when you're walking through it. And so we're doing that English self-placement exam. Other universities might be doing something different. So check in with each admissions office or your admissions counselor like myself, and they can update you on that and get you connected to your advisor.
Awesome. Thank you so much for filling us in about that. So it sounds like right now students should be working with admissions, making sure they've sent in all of their documentation. What does that look like? What are some of the required things?
Yeah, sometimes that's just making sure you actually sent your ACT or SAT if you took them like back in November and you just forgot to put UAS on there, or you just never sent your transcript but you thought you did. So make sure whatever checklist you're working through for that university is up to date. So check in with your admissions counselor, make sure that you're up to speed on that, so that you can start meeting with your academic advisor, who is a different person.
You want to tell us a bit about that? Who are academic advisors? What do they do? And how would they go about getting in touch with someone?
Yeah, so an advisor is someone who is going to get you on the right path in your degree program. And they're going to be the ones that you talk to sign up for your classes. So if you do not know how to college and you do not even know what it looks like to start as a marine biology or an English major, an education major, that's okay, because it's their job to know. So you're going to meet with them. They're going to help you sign up for all the right classes to make your four-year degree plan start off well. And yeah, so at UAS, we have this tool called Find Your Advisor, and I'll show it to you now. Can you see it?
Yep, there it is.
All right, so Find Your Advisor tool. I'll move this bar up. So at UAS, let's say you want to find your advisor. You're going to pick your program area. So that this thing is in the way again. I don't know if it's in the way on your screen.
I can see it. I can see the Find Your Advisor.
Okay, so you select marine biology. It's going to pop up Denise. So Denise is the one who is going to meet. You're going to contact to schedule for classes. You can call her or email her to set the appointment. So set an appointment for 2 weeks from now. And then for that appointment, you can Zoom or you can call, a Zoom call, however it works for you. Our advisors are being really flexible, so don't worry about that. Let's say let's reset this and go to elementary education somewhere. Education. Degree, we have multiple of them. So the Bachelor of Arts, it can be Michelle. So Michelle would be your contact. And so while every university might not have this tool, look for something similar, or just ask your admissions counselor who your advisor is. Because again, they're two different people. I cannot register you for class. I would love to, but I can't. So I would connect you to someone else.
The admissions counselors, like you, help students through the application process, whereas the academic advisors help students select their courses and get signed up for courses. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And then I know you mentioned that you can work with an academic advisor for like a 4-year degree. Do students who are pursuing like certificates or associate's degrees, do they work with academic advisors as well?
Yep, you will also have it. Yep, you will.
Okay.
So for example, a really good example is just like the general education, which is our associate degrees, and you would pick, Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, let's say Arts, location, let's pretend you're coming to Juneau, and it says Student Resource Center. Like, what's that? What the heck? We have a couple different advisors at the Student Resource Center that you would meet with. So associate students, certificate students, everyone has an advisor, and we actually require all freshmen to meet with an advisor. So if you are already like raring to go and you can't wait for the fall and you try to register yourself right now, it's gonna not let you go. It's not gonna let you do that. It's gonna be like, hey, talk to someone.
Okay.
You
So
need help.
yeah, when does that registration process start, or are students doing that already for the fall?
Yeah, it actually opened up yesterday. So, and I've already heard from students like, hey, Brittni, can't wait. I just registered for my classes. So I know they're doing it. So even seniors that are maybe not even graduated from high school yet, which is pretty crazy to me, but also awesome because they're already thinking ahead.
So
So a
what
lot of
about
students.
students, yeah, like who haven't made up their minds yet, Brittni, or they, they're just becoming interested in UAS or other schools? Is it too late at this point?
Oh, it is totally not too late, which is kind of the beauty of that free application. So if you're, starting to rethink your plans and you're, thinking, oh, maybe I should consider this. This is a great time to do that. I know a lot of you heard my entire life story when I was in your classroom, but when I was a senior in high school, I didn't even know about UAS. I couldn't even find it on a map. I had never heard of it until about April of my senior year. So basically right now, but a long time ago, I first heard about UAS. And so that's when I started the application process. I applied for admission. I sent in my ACT or SAT scores and my transcripts. Then I met with an advisor. So yeah, it's wherever you are in the process, this is a great time to start. It's definitely not too late. Can't emphasize that enough because that was me. Your plans change. You can change your mind over the summer. So April is not too late at all.
That is awesome. So our students have applied with admissions counselor.
Yep.
Then they meet with their academic advisor to talk about courses.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's next? What should students be also thinking about now?
Yeah, you should be thinking about contacting financial aid offices. So this is also the time of year. If you haven't already signed up for classes, that's totally great because you're probably getting lots of information. You might be getting financial aid packages from this university and this university, and now you're starting to number crunch. And before you register, you have to know where you're registering. So this is a step that can come anywhere along the line. So financial aid offices can give you all the information on scholarships you might have earned, what kind of federal aid they can provide you with, what your FAFSA information, what your FAFSA makes you eligible for. So yeah, that's a great next step. And then at UAS, you can. This is our website, but a lot of universities will have a website like this. So if you're unsure, just look for their financial aid page. Usually it's housed under somewhere in admissions. And boom, here's the information. You could call them, you could email them, you can set up an appointment to go over all of it with them. But they're a good contact right now because you're probably wondering how much college is going to cost if you sign up for it.
Well, and how to pay it, because financial aid office can go through and walk you through the process of accepting student loans if you were going to need to do that. And they could also give you information about like the Alaska Performance Scholarship and stuff. And I want to mention that the ACPE, the Alaska Commission on Post-Secondary Education, has waived their ACT, SAT test requirements for the Alaska Performance Scholarship. So that means that now eligibility is based solely on what classes you took and what your GPA is. So that's really exciting because that means a lot more of our students are qualifying for the APS this year. So that's great.
Yeah, that is amazing. And that was kind of at the end of my senior year. That's exactly where I was, and that's why I looked in-state again, because I was comparing all these numbers, doing the math. I was getting great scholarships, but not as great as some of the other ones offered by these in-state opportunities. So yeah, that's where I was, and that's how I ended up making my decision as well. So
cool.
It's totally okay if you're still in the comparison game.
Yeah, and so looking at financial aid and getting in touch with the financial aid office at whichever school you're thinking about would be a great step to take. What's next? What about where do you live when you go to college? How does that process work?
Yep. That's also a very real question. If you have signed up for classes and you're going there, and you should figure out where you're going to live. You can already apply for housing at UAS, and I know other universities have their housing applications open. And we usually recommend that students get it in by July for priority placement. So that's like if you were really hoping to be able to pay for that whole single room, you could do that. Or if you had a friend that you're coming to college with and you want a room together, then you should get your application in by July 1st. And yeah, we just recommend it in general so that we can place everyone and get you, where you're going to live even before obviously you show up.
Could you show us where that page is, where we could find that? Like, how can students find their housing options?
Yeah, let me show you. So back to the main page, you're going to go under Life at UAS, go down to Residence Life and Housing. That's what we call it. You're not going to find like dorm. Residence Life and Housing is the words you want to look for. Scroll down a little bit to Future Residents, and then you could click Apply Now. And this is the unit types and cost. So if you're wondering what it is, this is the John Pugh Hall. So this is the option for freshman students right there. But click Apply Now, and it'll take you to this lovely page, and you just start your application here. There is a deposit that's due. At UAS, it's $300. So one thing you might want to ask is, do I have to pay a deposit, and how much is it? That's a good question for housing offices.
And can we use scholarship money to pay for that deposit?
Yeah.
And financial aid could answer that question?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. At UAS, we have 2 specific housing scholarships, so it's a good one to check in on. And one of them is open until it's filled. So we always get a lot of applications, and then people are making the decisions over the summer, and they get off the list, and then someone bumps up. So it's pretty cool. So always ask about housing housing scholarships.
That is really good to know. Okay, so we've talked about how to apply for college, how to meet with an advisor to choose your classes. We talked about contacting financial aid to learn about the process to pay for your classes and things like that. We talked about the Alaska Performance Scholarship and housing. That's a lot of information we just covered, Brittni.
Yeah.
That was a lot. And so I want to make sure that we will be providing the names and links for contact information for these different departments for UAS. But again, this information is applicable to many schools across the country. These are the steps that you should be taking. And of course, you are welcome to contact your school, go to the website and look around, find the academic advisors, find the financial aid department, and start reaching out and making those contacts, and look into residence life and housing options, things like that. And of course, if students have any questions, Brittni, you're going to be available.
Yep.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. I am available to help answer questions or point you in the right direction. And students, you are also welcome to reach out to your school counselor. If you are not a Nikiski Bulldog, but you're watching this video just to get some information, feel free to reach out to your school counselor, because they're going to be a really great resource for this stuff too. So Brittni, you are amazing, and we are so grateful to you for your support today, and we look forward to seeing you again in the near future.
All right. Yeah. See you soon. Thanks, Nikiski.
Okay. Stay well.
You too.